We know now that most film aficionados don't actually know what a plot hole is. Instead a character says something that's part of the plot that's supposed to be a misdirection, and they're like, that's a plot hole. And other people are like, no, that character is clearly just lying. That's his motive. So let's talk about Avengers Endgame, and the Loki writer talking about the plot holes created by Avengers Endgame. So before we get into this, I will point out a few plot holes and things I love watching. The Dark Knight, the Joker. How does he leave Dent's party after he tosses Rachel out there? Just disappears, nobody mentions it. Just take the elevator? I don't know, nobody knows. Spider-Man 2. How did Harry know where Otto Octavius was? It's like never mentioned, he just shows up. He's just there, he knows where he is. The entire X-Men franchise. Okay, so I just wanted to point out those three. I know, now the fans of at least two of those gotta lose their minds in the comments, but hey, there we go. Anyways, the quantum realm plot hole, the time travel plot hole, how different they work, how the multiverse works. Everything recently, it's all been brought up, specifically to Michael Waldron from The Direct, and you know, they asked him, well, okay, how about this? And he kind of just laughs at it and says, hey, they laid a foundation for time travel, and we're building up upon that. And he talks about inheriting ideas and stories from other directors and working with other directors, like Sam Raimi for the Multiverse of Madness, because he wrote that script, and also what was happening in WandaVision and how it all plays into the bigger story. So what he's telling you without telling you is, we don't know. It's not a plot hole because there's also other things that are in motion that have to get explained. Does that make sense? I mean, the way they do time travel in the quantum realm in Endgame does raise a lot of questions, but they try to simplify it in that film. Loki is dealing with a completely different element that deals with time travel and variance in a completely different way that doesn't affect anything that happens in there. While at the same time, Quantumania is going to be dealing with even more of it. So I think people start to understand that this is something that's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing, and they're working with it. And because it leaves some questions unanswered, it doesn't mean it's a plot hole up until it is. If we want to point out a real MCU plot hole that nobody talks about, and I'm always like, why is nobody talking about this one? Thor. Thor is literally a plot hole. How is it in Thor 1, it's the first time he says he's ever been to Earth, and this is his first time here, and the first time humans are looking at him and he's looking at them? Then how did they come up with the concept of Thor in Viking mythology? What? See, that's a real plot hole. That one. Maybe they'll explain that one somewhere.